Welcome back to Cozy Tea Talks. It's your girl Tajane Kemi, and I'm here with a special guest, Nicole Onibanjo.
Hey
Woo!
guys.
Thank you for being here. How are
Thank you
you,
for
my
having me.
babes?
I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
good. I'm good. Thank you so
Good,
much for
good.
being here. So today's topic is about grief and loss, and I just wanted to dive in on, how people cope with losing somebody, as it is something that can affect your whole life and affect you as a person. And in this day and age with COVID and just life in general,
Yeah.
people getting sick, I just wanted to hear someone else's experience and also
Yeah.
understand what coping mechanisms that you could advise somebody else
Yeah.
that might be going through something you're going through.
hmm
So if I can start, if you can explain who you've lost
hmm
and how that's affected you.
Yeah, sure. So, back in 2021,
Yeah.
I lost my grandma and, we were really, really close. I'd say I was the closest to her out of all my siblings, even out of like my cousins and stuff. And it was just such a funny day for me, really, because that was my first day. I was moving to uni, like my first day ever.
Mm.
I remember the day like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So, woke up that day. I was really happy, like a new beginning for me. It was my birthday. I just turned 19. Went to uni. I remember we got to literally the car park of my new accommodation and I was in the car. It was my dad, my mum, me, my best friend came with me for that weekend and my little brother. And then my dad got a call and because his phone is connected to the car, everyone can hear it.
Mm.
So it was my auntie calling. I'm there thinking she's probably calling to say like, happy
Happy
birthday or whatever.
birthday. Yeah.
She's come on the call and she's just frantic. Like she's just saying like, mommy's gone, mommy's gone. And like, I kind of knew like she's talking about my grandma. So I just remember I burst out into tears. Like I said, it was such a weird day for me because it wasn't only my birthday, but my first day at uni. So it was a big day and it was just like, it was horrible. And I feel like, something like that, like it really, I thought it was going to change the tone of how uni was going to be for me. I was thinking like, am I going to be able to continue? Am I going to be able to stay here? Like now I'm in Birmingham, my family's in London. I've just lost someone who means so much to
To
me. Like
you.
how am I, going to navigate this? And I feel like, I don't know if everyone watching this is religious, but the number one thing I would say is God, like, keeping God close to you, having my family, even though we was apart, like, the constant reassurance, them always checking on me, having my friends, and also kind of, I would say in a sense, keeping your mind occupied. I guess because I just started uni, that was a very good way to keep my mind occupied. I had to like,
Keep
be in this
busy.
mindset. Do you know what I mean? Especially because I went to a Russell group and the standards for Russell groups are high. Like they don't take no. So I was just like, in my head, I thought, this is a hard time, but what would my grandma want? Because she was my number one supporter. Like when I said I wanted to do nursing, that's it. Like she's behind me 110%. So it was almost like, okay, like I'm doing this, even though I was already doing it for my family, like I'm doing this for her even more. And I guess like being able to speak to someone, I guess that's the most important thing about being able to cope with grief, having someone to talk to, someone that makes you feel like, you're never talking about it too much because
They make you
losing
feel
someone,
safe and reassured
exactly,
that
losing
you can talk
someone
for hours and they're not judging you.
and they're not like almost getting bored of it because
Yeah.
losing someone is, it's a really big thing. And I feel like the pain doesn't ever go away. I
Yeah,
mean, it
talk to me
gets,
about that because obviously for me, I've never lost someone that I genuinely care about and love and support because my family lived to old. Thank God, I give God the glory. And then also like my friends and that, I pray and they're good. So obviously you've had that experience of losing someone close. Like explain to me how do you like establish reality in terms of like making sure that okay, I'm saying this person's not here anymore, but
yeah,
knowing that in my heart and everywhere, whatever I do,
yeah,
they're still with me. How
yeah.
do you maneuver that?
I mean, I feel like it's definitely difficult because like navigating life after loss is hard. Like no matter who it is, whether it's a friend, a family member, it's hard because like, you come to terms with the fact that
This
this is
person's not
someone
going to
that
be
was
here
there.
no
Yeah,
more.
it's not, oh, I can just call, or I can just video call, or I can do this. So I feel like the most important thing is letting yourself being able to grieve, like allowing yourself to grieve and almost like come to the reality, like, like this is real and it happens, like death is inevitable. Like, one thing my mom always says to me is that we're all in the queue, like, it's all going to happen to us. So I guess it's really important trying to like figure out what you want for your life in the sense of, okay, cool, you know what, like me, for my grandma, for example, she was someone that was really supportive, and I know whatever I wanted, she wanted just for me. So it's like keeping on track and not kind of like you said, trying to keep sane is also like one of the hardest things. And I guess it depends on who you are as a person and how strong you are, because not everyone, is able to be like, okay, I've lost this person, but I got to keep going. But I feel like it's just being in touch with your emotions, allowing yourself, like I said, to feel these things. Like, don't just try and think, okay, cool, like I've got to get over it, or don't let anyone tell you, oh, you've got to get over this in this amount of time. It's been almost 5 years now, and sometimes when I think about my grandma, I cry, and it's okay. Like, but you see, today I can sit here and I can speak about this, I can relay the events, and I feel sad, like my heart feels heavy, but I guess it's about just moving forward, because you have to. At the end of the day, life doesn't stop for anyone, time doesn't stop for anyone. So it's just about tapping into your inner self and really being able to like be strong, because like I said, it's been all this time now and it still hurts like it was yesterday, but it's just about I've got to keep going. Like, that's all you can really do, to be honest. Like, you've got to keep going.
No, I appreciate that, and my condolences to your loss. And she is proud of you. I can see that she's definitely proud of you, because the fact that you've even kept going after, still stuck with uni, still doing what you need to do, like that is commendable. Because a lot of people, once they lose someone, that's it, like they're done with life. They probably turn to drugs, to alcohol, to kind of numb themselves. And it's very important that you still in touch with your inner self. You still know what you're doing in life. You still remember the good times with that person, and you keep pushing yourself regardless of how you feel inside, because I know like no one can tell you how to feel, like no one can tell you that it's okay, because at the end you feel you're not okay, and it's never going to be okay, because this person's not here no more. So I definitely understand that. Obviously, as I said prior, that I've never had someone close to me, I've never lost someone close to me, but I did like a few months ago lose a colleague at work that I'd worked with, and that was hard, like because I've never, at my big age, even at a young age, I've never lost anyone. Like I've got all my grandparents, I've got all my aunties and all of that, so it was just different, like to know that I worked with this person and then this person's now been taken away out of sickness. And it was so sad, because it was like I was going to see her in the hospital, like she was so energetic. And they always say, like, when, like, especially if someone's like passing away due to sickness, they have this burst of energy before they pass away. And this person was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I'm coming out in a few days, not to her. Yeah, she's no longer here no more. I was like, what? No. But yeah, I would definitely agree that it is definitely important to have supportive people around you.
Definitely.
To definitely stay focused, keep busy, and also feel your emotions, whether it is going to therapy and crying, whether it is talking to your friend every day and having that safe space with somebody to be able to let out whatever you feel. So yeah, no, I do definitely appreciate that. So what would you say to somebody younger than you that's going through grief? Whether it is they've lost their baby, they've lost their mom, their grandma, how would you advise someone like that?
Honestly, like I said, I would say, it's okay to not feel okay after that person's gone, because it is such a big life shift. Imagine like seeing someone every day and then now they're not, and it's not because they're in a different city or what, it's just they're just physically not here. You can't even get a hold of them. So I'd say, like I said, just keep your mind occupied, but don't over occupy your mind to the point that you neglect your feelings. I think that's definitely the most important thing.
I think
like,
that's key, definitely.
Just have something you want to do. Like for me, in my instance, like it was uni, I knew I wanted to come out with this nursing degree. So I guess that was something that I had, but I didn't let that take away from the fact that I just lost someone that meant a lot to me. I would still be in my uni room crying, upset, like I miss my grandma, even have her date of birth tattooed. And sometimes I look at it and I'll just be like, I really miss her. But it's just about knowing what you want to, like, you just, like I said, life just doesn't stop for anyone. So just having something you want to do, because if you have something you want to do, it motivates you to want to get there. Going, it motivates you to want to get there. And I feel like that's the most important thing. Don't lose motivation, like don't lose hope. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you still have so much that you can do in life. So it's like, don't allow this, like, even though it is a life-changing event, I will say, like, I would never downplay it. And like you said, I can sit here and tell you I felt sad, but you're not going to feel that sadness that I felt that day when I heard that call, you know what I mean? And all the time, and even up until now. So I feel like it's just important to just keep having something that you want to do in life so that, you know, you just have something that you're working towards and your mind is just constantly focused on it.
No, definitely. I definitely agree. And guys, I appreciate everyone for watching. I feel like obviously this is very triggering. So if this is triggering to you, please, I apologize completely, because this is something that happens in life and people go through it, and it can be very emotional and very touching. But for those that are going through grief and need some support, you can go on the NHS website and contact the bereavement helpline, which is 0808 802 6161, and that's again 0808 802 6161. Thank you everyone for watching. See you again soon.